Okay,
What's
cool.
that
Yep,
picture
yep.
of Jim? I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I have seen it, but never in. It's not normally ones that I can find in like good high res. But yeah,
Right.
it's one of those Herbert's ones. He just really went for everything.
Um, Batman Forever 95 is rarely considered in the conversation about the best Batman movies. This neon-soaked,
Yeah.
over-the-top, gloriously weird entry in the franchise is written off as campy or corny, but maybe that's exactly what makes it the best Batman film. That's absurd.
Right.
It's certainly our favorite. Can you sum that up? Like, okay, can you tell me? I don't think I've ever asked you this.
Sure.
Why it's this particular one?
I mean that sort of description there is actually pretty spot on
Oh,
for
yeah?
me. It is gloriously over the top. It is neon soaked. So yeah, it is slightly weird. I guess it that is sort of like why I gravitate a bit towards it. I think sort of like back in 1995, I was sort of like conscious of the character Batman, but
Yeah.
like I had seen like some of the animated series episodes, but like I wasn't like into the character, and I don't know, just seeing the movie, just sort of like one of the things I love about Batman is that it's such a kind of multi-dimensional character. You can do it in lots of different ways. You
Yep.
can take it off in loads of different directions, and I think Batman Forever was when I realized, oh, this character isn't just the animated series
Yeah.
or the 60s show. It's like it can be any, you can manipulate it and stretch it into various different places.
Yeah.
And probably as an 11-year-old kid, you know, being really into Jim Carrey movies, the fact that Jim Carrey was the leading villain in it
Right.
sort of was a big plus for me. But yeah, just I think it is a weird, slightly weird movie. It is really over the top, and I think having gotten into Batman and being into Batman for the last 30 years, I find that aspect of Batman to be the most fun part.
Yeah.
The weirdness and the craziness of it all, and I think like Batman Forever embraces that in a good way and tells a decent story with it. No disrespect to Batman and Robin, but
Yeah.
like I don't think the story they are telling is as strong as what they're trying to do with Batman Forever.
It is the first film to be about Batman. I heard that on the Kevin Smith's commentary for the film, which
That's
is like free on YouTube.
Yeah, he did a good commentary.
And I thought that was interesting.
Yes.
And so I
Yeah.
liked the direction the script goes in.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
let's see. Like, if you were to ask me the same question about why this is my
Go on.
favorite
Yeah,
one,
let's hear you.
it's I think of color, and
Yep.
I like the world that it takes place in. Especially big metropolises in film have always interested me. I grew up in a town called Monroe, Washington. It's kind of
Right.
the middle of nowhere, and so movies we had on VHS was my first glimpse into what the big city looked like. And Batman Forever's city is very romantic and over the top and bustling. And to this day, I love the statues that tower over people. And there's that scene where they're driving down the arm in Batman and Robin. And there's Batman does that jump, and he jumps out, and there's an overhead shot where looking down at what seems like 2,000 feet of city. I still think that's really romantic, and I'm not the only person that feels that way.
Completely. You can go to any city, and there's nothing visually like that. Mm-hmm. Like it's almost like a kid's eye view of what the city feels like. Like when you go to a city as a kid, everything feels humongous. But like as an adult, you're like, it's 20 stories. You've seen all the skyscrapers. You know what a city looks like. Yeah. Whereas
you go
Joel's
into
Gotham City is this thing you could just get lost in.
Right.
Like, it doesn't even make sense. How do people navigate it? It's just insane.
Yeah. So, and the adult perspective, once you like take an elevator up to like the 20th floor of like, I don't know, the Chrysler building, you realize what's in those buildings, and it's all just people kind of working, tables, chairs, and maybe they'll have like a meeting room or a break room, and all those buildings are kind of the same, but before it becomes your normal life, it's very romantic and kind of wonderful. I was gonna say that I'm not the only person who likes this version of Gotham, for sure. I was watching the other day Mahler's like EFAP podcast, and they were reviewing Batman and Robin. They did a commentary on that, and he took the time to say, look at this establishing shot. This Gotham is amazing. Like this fucking big statue that's holding up the observatory with a telescope. It's just so out there.
And like the seeds are there in some of the Burton, in those first two Burton movies. There's quite imposing statues, either side of City Hall and stuff, but they're not this sort of like insane, like another one of my favorite pieces while we're on about architecture in Batman Forever, when the helicopter is sweeping through and there's just this, I don't even know, 100-foot tall demon gargoyle thing. Do you know the one I mean?
I don't think so. I don't think it doesn't.
Okay, it's the bit where the kind of Two-Face's helicopter is sweeping through the city. I'll find it and send it to you, but it's just, it's there for like a handful of seconds, but you're just like, wait, what?
I've got the movie on my desktop. It's like, what is this, like 9 minutes into the film?
I'm gonna guess, it's pretty early on. It's when he's getting like dragged.
Oh, on the cable, yeah.
On the cable, yeah.
Let me switch windows here.
That's cool. There we go.
Okay. Why would anyone erect that? Yeah, it's just bonkers.
What kind of citizen would be like, yes, please, can I have a creepy...
Yeah.
But I love it.
Let's green light this. Hire contractors, and it's, I mean, they built the Statue of Liberty, but that, like, really means something and isn't in the middle of town.
Anyway, that's one of my favorite.
I don't think I've ever noticed that, because I'm always
weird touches.
I'm into the scene.
Yeah, it's a good kinetic scene.
Yeah, that's badass, and it's terrifying too. It's like, imagine you're standing on top of that thing.
Imagine you're one of those people who live in one of those apartments next to it. Just look at that every day.
Oh, there it is again. Yeah. This is the 4K version. I'm so used to
cool, yeah.
The DVD. It's just looks a lot better. Okay, back to the article. Okay, this neon-soaked, over-the-top, gloriously weird entry in the franchise is written off as campy or corny, but maybe that's exactly what makes it the best Batman film. Yes, you heard me. Here are 5 reasons why Batman Forever is one of the all-time great underrated movies and takes the Batman world's top prize. Number 1, darkness into light. Have you ever asked yourself why every Batman movie has to be a grim, depressing, rain-swept urban dystopia? Yes, I have. Batman Forever balances out the usual relentless brooding with vibrant colors and unusual cityscapes that give some visual relief from the doom and gloom of other Batman movies. All that color is exactly in keeping with the series' roots in the original comic books. This is remarkably similar to what I was talking to you about. I mentioned color and the city. And, like, I swear to Christ, I didn't read this, but his opening,
sure.
like, I think maybe it's the most obvious standout thing about the film is the look of it and the production design. So it just goes to show I'm not the only asshole who really appreciates the way the film looks. So okay, his next one is Jim Carrey. Say what you want, but Jim Carrey's Riddler is unforgettable. True. He fills every scene with wild-eyed brilliance, channeling the kind of manic energy only he can deliver. His performance walks the perfect line between villainous and hilarious. I don't know about that. I think he's a little too funny. Giving us a bad guy who's both genuinely threatening and fun to watch. He's the kind of villain who enjoys being evil, and in a Batman world full of tortured psychopaths, that's a welcome breath of fresh air.
I'd agree with that. And definitely I agree with you when you're saying he's a little too hilarious at times and could maybe have done with just a little bit more edge to him. There's a bit in the movie where he looks up at the security camera and he goes, "Why hasn't anybody put you in your place?" And like that's a really great kind of creepy line to end on. And obviously, it ends with him kind of pulling the plug on the camera or whatever. But yeah, just a tad more of that I could have done with. But yeah,
there's
I love Jim. I think he's great in the movie.
Not until the very end when he's like, Chase is talking to him through the little hole and he's in the asylum.
Yes.
I think I mentioned that in a video on the channel where he takes a really big turn when he shows up as the Riddler. His darker scenes when he's Nigma, I don't think he comes back until his final scene when he's at Arkham. And
no.
Yeah, that's a really cool scene. I think people looking back at the film wanted more of that and less Two-Face, show me how to punch the guy.
Yeah. I think his performance is one of those things that is I don't necessarily find it funny, but you get this sort of like kind of transfer where kind of like he is clearly having so much fun both as an actor and the character is having fun that you just sort of like enjoy the ride.
You don't find him funny in the film?
I don't find him funny in the same way I find like Ace Ventura funny, where I'm like, this guy's being an arsehole to everyone and it's hilarious. Whereas Edward Nigma, I'm just there's some funny lines in there. I guess the whole why didn't you tell me about this? We could have pre-sold the movie rights. Is a pretty good one.
He is pretty damn funny in the Ritz Gotham scene when he's channeling Val. And you wish you thought of it. He's not in a comedy movie per se. He's bringing his own, they hired him to do the job, and so it's Jim. It's mid-90s Jim too, so he's gonna do things a certain way. He's just really humorous, but Batman isn't gonna give him as many funny scenes as say The Mask or Dumb and Dumber. So
no, sure.
Yeah, his second reason was the Riddler. Okay. And you can see his third reason is Val, so underrated Batman. Val Kilmer only got one shot at playing Bruce Wayne, but he nailed it. Well, he actually got two, but he didn't have a great time on this film, so he didn't.
No,
he didn't,
have you read his biography? It's called "I'm Your Huckleberry."
I have not. I've seen that documentary called Val. That's it.
Yes, yeah. I think they pretty much say the same thing. Of just he really didn't enjoy it, particularly the suit stuff. I don't think he really enjoyed, and then just not getting on with the director.
Yeah.
Probably didn't help. I know he did. He was really complimentary about working with Jim Carrey and like loved doing all the scenes with him. But yeah, I think everything else was a bit of a slog for him. But it's a good. I think it's a good performance. I like what he does again.
This screenshot that you're seeing is my favorite scene of him. He comes off as a kind of a approachable. He's believable as the billionaire. Mm-hmm. Jim Carrey is in top form as well in this scene, and he's like not letting go of his hand, and he's like the boss is like, oh dear God, don't embarrass me in front of the CEO, and Bruce is like, it's okay. So he takes some time to listen to Ed, and I think it's a wonderful scene, really.
Here's a question: as a kid, the whole thing about like we'll set up an appointment with my assistant. Like, did you always feel like he's trying to let him down easy, or do you think he genuinely was like, we'll have another chat about this?
I think he was interested in having a little chat about him. I don't think he was going to let him down.
I think he was interested. Yeah. I was just curious.
Continuing,
because obviously Nigma takes it as like a sort of like, oh, you are definitely just, I must have an answer. Like, he obviously doesn't believe that it's gonna come to anything if it's just gonna be a chat.
And the book has a nice insight with that scene into Edward. The book, the quote is something like, anyone could be told to call his assistant. I must not be important to you. And so. Yeah. This article is saying that his Batman has presence, poise, and just the right amount of emotional depth to balance out flamboyant cast members like Carey and Tommy Lee Jones. Kilmer's Wayne is introspective and believable as a man wrestling with his dual identity, something that later films tend to either over-dramatize or ignore entirely. He also looks amazing in this suit, and that matters. This line that says later films tend to either over-dramatize or ignore. Which...
I'm trying to think.
Which movie like over-dramatizes the dual identity? Like... maybe the and then he says some of them ignore entirely, so maybe like the Matt Reeves one ignores his dual identity. I'm thinking
maybe the Matt Reeves one where he's pretty morose whether he's Batman or Bruce Wayne, and he's not trying to put on any sort of other persona as Bruce Wayne. He's just sort of miserable at both. But I'm trying to think of the over-dramatized one.
What about the Nolan films? Does he actually wrestle with his duality in the Nolan films, or?
No, again, I don't really feel.
I feel like those ones were really light on the duality stuff.
Yeah, I can't quite think what he's going for there in the article.
Yeah, maybe he's just saying that this one goes further than all the other ones as far as his conflict with doing the superhero thing.
I mean, this movie is about him trying to, you know, part of the subplot is him trying to reconcile being Bruce Wayne and Batman. And, you know, by the end of it, he has sort of solved it to some degree, as he tells Edward Nygma.
What do you think of Val in the suit?
Trying to think, I'm trying to picture like all the other guys in the suit. I think everyone pretty much looks great in their respective suits. I mean, yeah, sure, he does feel it as uncomfortable as he says it was. He does look pretty great in both the Panther suit and the Sonar suit.
I sort of
kind of fits his face.
Yeah, I sort of have an issue with his mouth, though.
Okay.
He's good in the role. I just don't like his big lips very much. I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of the Kilmer lips.
That's fine. I have a similar thing about George Clooney's massive chin, which I think sticks out way too far. But hey,
I think he has a better. I don't mind a
better chiseled kind of comic booky look, maybe. Yeah.
Don't mind Clooney's jaw as much as Kilmer's. All right. Some praise for the soundtrack. Oh, I'm sorry. This is for the Seal and U2 stuff, not the Elliot Goldenthal. Never mind.
Okay, sure.
This movie gives us Kiss from a Rose, an absolute power ballad that became a radio staple and won multiple Grammys. The rest of the soundtrack is just as killer, featuring artists like U2, The Flaming Lips, and who the hell is Brandy? I'm sorry.
It's like R&B. She's like, is it Where Are You Now? It's the one that plays as Dick Grayson is driving the Batmobile into sort of downtown Gotham.
That one, yeah.
And the
that's
the members
Bat
of En
Boy.
Vogue. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I never.
Yeah.
I've heard the soundtrack before, and I've never been like, oh, it's that song from that scene. It just kind of. It's. I didn't leave.
It's a classic of one of those kind of 90s things where sort of like only about 4 or 5 of the songs are actually in the film, and the rest are just sort of like thrown together.
Yeah.
But it is a good. I mean, yeah, I would agree. It was a good mix. It's very hard to get those kind of soundtracks right, particularly when you're mixing kind of like rock and pop and R&B and rap and all sorts. You know, it can just be like a dog's dinner of a thing. But yeah, it's very good.
I've always been kind of baffled by those music from and inspired by the motion picture. It's all this.
Yeah, they've gone now.
What's this got to do with the film, you know?
I think they died out in the sort of mid-2000s, maybe.
Good.
The last one I remember was like Spider-Man 3 had a soundtrack from and inspired by. And sort of after that, I think we just... Yeah,
oh, God. Doesn't Spider-Man 1 open the credits with like Nickelback or some shit?
Yeah, it's the lead singer, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad we're past that.
See, there you go. We could have had Nickelback. So, you know, I think we should be thankful we got Seal in U2.
Oh, no, the songs that are in the film, I like. It's everything else that's just like, I'll listen to this for a minute and skip.
Yep.
It's a perfect snapshot of mid-90s cool, adding an emotional and stylish backdrop to the film's explosive visuals. Oh,
sure.
Okay, sure. And then it's the most rewatchable Batman movie. Oh, so it's just like what the AI told us earlier.
Yeah.
Like I Googled this earlier to try and find it, and it's like Batman Forever is the most rewatchable Batman movie because of XYZ. I'm like, all right. I mean, it is the one I watch the most.
Yeah, I would probably say the same. Yeah, it's. I mean, that and the Burton films are pretty well. That first Burton film is pretty fun. I think Batman Returns, you got to be in the right sort of. It's a downbeat movie about some pretty messed up kind of characters, I think you got to be in the right mood for Batman Returns.
It says, let's face it, some Batman films are masterpieces, but they're not always easy to rewatch. Okay. Batman Forever, though, it's pure entertainment from start to finish. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and that's the secret of its charm. It's fast, fun, and it never forgets that superheroes are supposed to be exciting. It's easily the most rewatchable film in the series. Yeah, I like...
Yeah.
Here's a guilty pleasure of mine is watching this movie in my editing software and like speeding it up and slowing it down, especially for Tommy Lee Jones's scenes. Speeding those up and getting through them quick. Yeah, I love his first scene, and he's just like, blind, stupid, simple doodah. I'm sorry, I can't get enough of it.
That is a great speech. Yeah, that is maybe the best. I'm gonna say that's the best he is in the film, maybe. And it's a shame that he doesn't get any more big speeches like that.
I think he does.
That really kind of yeah, like what? What are you thinking?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, true. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
I just like the idea of him, harassing and belittling this little security guard.
I like when the guard is like, "Are you gonna kill me?" And he's like, maybe not. We're of two minds on the subject. Yeah. That's great stuff. Rewatchable for me because of the over-the-top acting. And the music and the sound effects. It's fun and over the top.
The 2 hours just breeze by for me.
Yeah. I'm kind of reminded of Gene Siskel's take on the film. He said, "This movie, I liked it while I was watching it, but when it was over, it meant nothing to me." That's so good.
Good old Siskel.
Yeah. As if you needed further convincing, Batman Forever failed to win over the critics. Well, boo-hoo for them. They missed out on the one series entry that hammered across the colorful and crazy vision of what the original comic book series was supposed to be before the 80s and Frank Miller came along. The what? The 80s came before the 90s, buddy. Oh, I'm sorry. He's saying
it's
the original comic. Okay. Okay. Whatever.
It's sort of like reminiscent of kind of like 60s, 70s Batman comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, people always go on about, it's the 60s show for the 90s, but like, I feel it is pulling from sort of lots of different sources. I feel it was borrowing a little bit from the modern, at that time, the modern kind of like 90s stuff. I mean, obviously, Robin's costume is ripped straight from kind of the Tim Drake costume from the comics. And then I think it's borrowing a little bit from the animated series. I think it's borrowing a tiny bit from the 60s show, but it's sort of like this sort of, it's borrowing from lots of different eras. I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's anything that really feels Frank Miller-y in there. Probably not.
You think?
No, he's probably right.
No. You're searching for Frank Miller-ness in Batman Forever?
Yeah. It's been a while since I went back and read any Frank Miller.
I've never read any Frank Miller.
His modern stuff is quite, not great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I mean, some of the Frank Miller stuff was quite kind of like bold and colorful.
Yeah.
His like Dark Knight Returns is all about kind of like Batman coming out of retirement and stuff, but it's done with quite not vibrant but quite bold colors. So maybe there's a little bit of that. But the character of Robin, that's what I would have added to this. I think the character of Robin is pretty good in Batman Forever. If they do sort of like a quick he's maybe in the film Chris O'Donnell is maybe in the film like for 20 minutes, I would guess. So we kind of like zip through all his origin story, but I think they do it pretty well. That would be my sixth reason for enjoying this film.
Yeah. By in the film, you mean like on screen?
Yeah, I mean like on screen, like Chris O'Donnell's screen time. He doesn't show up until 20 minutes, half an hour into the film, and then you're just getting these little snippets of him at Wayne Manor stealing the Batcave and stuff. The Batmobile, I mean.
He shows up 34 minutes in.
Yeah, 34. Yeah, and then he's in costume for what, like 2 minutes? But
God damn it! Yeah.
But it's a great costume. So yeah.
I do like his costume when he saves bats in the subway.
Oh, when he puts his yeah, he puts his old.
Isn't it just his circus costume with a little mask?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's
I
neat.
wish we got a bit more of that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what is this article called? I cannot tell you that Forever is the best of the Batman movies. Like, no fucking way. It's,
No.
I think this should have been titled Why It's the Most Rewatchable. And he and I are very much on the same page in terms of the look of the film. It's, the film is very much like a Big Mac, which is a analogy that Schumacher used at the time of the film's release. And I'll admit, I'm a person who eats a lot of Big Macs.
Sure.
So, yeah, and this movie took the character and the series in a funnier direction, which I think filmmakers have been afraid to kind of go back to this kind of tone for Batman ever since, because nobody likes Forever or Batman and Robin. I mean, Forever has kind of had a renaissance in the past few years. The film has always kind of had its fans. Best? No. Rewatchable? Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely for me rewatchable. For me, it is one of the best. It's really close. For me, it's neck and neck between this and Batman '89. That is just the type of Batman I enjoy. Like, I respect the Nolan films and everything, and the stuff I like about all the Batman movies. But like, for me, Batman is a character that works best when it is in a really heightened world, and it has a bit of fun with the material. Not makes fun of the material, but has fun with the material. And I feel like Tim Burton's Batman does that well, and I feel like Batman Forever also does that well. So those are my two. Those are the two at my top.
Yeah. Moving over to YouTube, you just reminded me of something I wanted to ask you last time we did this. We were watching Nate the Film Nerd, and he said that Forever and Robin are the two worst Batman movies, but I never asked you, what do you think is the worst Batman movie? Say it.
It's really tough.
Oh yeah.
Because some of them are still fresh, and like I said before, like I move. Films don't just. Batman Forever is one of the few that have just like. I love it as much as I still loved it as a 11-year-old kid. Whereas other movies, I go up and down on, and sometimes I come back to it and I'm like, yeah, that's even better than I thought. And other times I come back to them and I'm like, that's not. No, why did I like this movie?
Yeah.
So like the Matt Reeves one, for instance, like I think I've only probably watched that maybe once at the cinema or once at home. And like, I mean, it's 3 hours long, so it's got a lot more time to tell me a plot. but like I enjoyed it, but like I don't know when I'm gonna go back for a third time. And again, that's partly just what I like about Batman movies. It's not sort of my preferred ones. I'm not a huge fan of Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Again, maybe that's growing up with the Burton and Schumacher movies where Bruce Wayne and Batman are sort of like this mystery you never quite get full explanation for. So I always felt like Batman Begins sort of spoiled it for me a little bit, and like, no, I don't want an explanation. I don't want to see his training. I don't want to see where he gets his vehicles, you know. So I know that movie is hugely popular with a lot of people, but for me it's like, nah, that's not what I really want from a Batman movie. So that's like lower down.
Of those three by Nolan, Begins is my favorite.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to explain. I just enjoyed it the most.
No,
I haven't
sure.
seen them very many times. I've seen The Dark Knight the most because it's fucking on the television all the fucking time for how many years now?
True.
But did you answer the question, or were you just like kind of pussyfooting around? Because I think
I was pussyfooting around for sure. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So.
But I'm not gonna rank them, but yeah, maybe the Matt Reeves one and Batman Begins are the ones I would go back to the least right now.
I'm kind of surprised that you didn't mention Batman v Superman, because that's my pick for the worst Batman film. That's
your pick for the worst?
Yeah.
Okay. I should probably reveal myself as a huge fan of Batman v Superman then.
You like it?
I find it really clunky, and...
Oh, you dislike it?
No.
Oh.
I'm getting into kind of my caveats.
Mm-hmm.
I find it really clunky and awkward, and the dialogue's really weird, and the plot goes in odd directions. But in spite of all of that, I just find it a fascinating movie. Maybe because it's not in any way perfect. I just find so much to think about it. It's like watching... It's got this nightmare kind of vibe to it, like you're watching someone's angry fever dream. Oh. And I kind of like movies that have a vibe, and so that's why I am not putting that near the bottom. I don't know where that sits on mine, but higher, I think. But go on, what's your other worst Batman movie?
Oh, it's funny. Usually the worst means that it's the worst, and everything else is just second worst. But it's unfair of me to say the Matt Reeves one, but like it's the only one of all these films that I just couldn't finish it. I was like cringing at the sound of Commissioner Gordon's voice. And it's like, why is he talking like Batman? I have real problems with Commissioner Gordon in that film. His performance is really weird. Yeah. It's just like, I can't hear him half the movie.
Okay.
And
it's,
like, I don't like what they did with the Riddler.
I don't like what they did with the Riddler.
I don't see Edward Nygma or whatever the fuck they called him in that movie. I see, it's just that kid from Little Miss Sunshine for me.
God, yeah, he was in Little Miss Sunshine, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, Paul.
Completely forgot that movie.
Paul
Dano, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so those are your two worst. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, Batman and Robin, because easy. I like the film. I can't tell you it's a good Batman film. It's like the same things like as Forever. Like, okay, it's rewatchable and it's colorful.
Yeah,
that's just for me. Okay, it's digestible and I can watch it. So that's why it's not the worst one for me.
If it's on TV, I would probably stop and watch it. Whereas if the others were on TV, I don't know whether I'd stop and watch them.
Mm-hmm. about 45 minutes. This
Mm-hmm.
video by Eyebrow Cinema, this like the 62-minute long one. I was, gonna save that for if we do that one now. Like shit, we'll be recording for a long time. So like we don't have to do that tonight. Could just like call it a night or like comment, like watch some commercials, but I don't think I want to do an hour-long video right now.
Yeah, sure.
Here.
Here's that Video Tasties thing I showed you the other night.
Oh, yeah, that was great, yeah.
Yeah, it is, but it just kind of goes on and on and on. There's some interesting commercials. Like, I thought it would be cool to look at some of like the toy commercials and like say, hey, like I had this. Thing is though, like you've reviewed the whole like Kenner line from Forever, right?
Yeah.
What about the vehicles? Have you looked at all those?
I think I probably have. Of all the vintage stuff, yeah, I think I have. Yeah, because I did the last one I really needed was the triple action vehicle, the one where you can like convert it into all the different vehicles. That was the last one I needed to do.
Yeah, I think you have done all these. Yeah, it's cool. The commercials for these are just great. I love the energy the narrator has, and the sets and the kids playing with them. It's all really well done. Like that stuff will stay with me forever. I have some of them memorized. But I know that for Batman and Robin, there's how many of the Batman and Robin figures do you have? Like, have you tracked them all down yet?
I think I've still got about 7 or 8 still to get. Might be right. Yeah. And the last few are a real pain to try and track down.
Oh, really?
Most of Batman Forever and Batman and Robin are really easy, but there's just like a handful of figures where it just came at the end of the line and just, not too many people held on to them.
Have you found this 2-pack yet?
Yeah, I think I have that, and I can't remember whether I've got the stand. There's like a stand in the middle between them.
Oh,
that you can sort of set them on.
That's really cool.
I might be missing that stand actually. But yeah.
Did you review this on your channel? I don't recall that.
I don't think I've got around to that one yet. No.
Oh.
That's the Guardians of Gotham, I want to say. Yeah, Guardians of Gotham,
That's really cool. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I guess it's the one that looks like the ice suits from the movie. The closest one.
Yeah, that one's killer. Oh, these are cool. I love the colors on this one.
Oh, and they're the triple action for, if you just go up slightly to the one above and to the right, you can see the triple action vehicle. They rebranded for Batman and Robin, so it's like the same Batman Forever vehicle. There we go.
Lame.
Same Batman Forever vehicles.
Yeah.
Even though none of them are in the film. But hey. That's Kenner for you. They would always be recycling something.
The artwork on the front was didn't we find this art? Like, I swear I saw a Facebook post the other day where it's like, here's the original illustrations for all the Kenner cards and shit. I thought it was amazing.
Oh, possibly. Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
Because they're great.
Yeah, I've still got to make my Batman and Robin Pop-Tarts.
Yes, very true.
I frickin' think about these things all. Oh, and this ad, like, I had this in a magazine, like Disney magazine, a long time ago, and I would look at this ad all the time. And I actually asked my mom, how did they get a bat symbol shaped Pop-Tart? And she's like, they just used a cookie cutter, honey. But the ad is like...
Yeah, now, here's the thing, though.
What? What?
That's just for the advert. I don't think the actual Pop-Tarts you get in the actual thing were that shape.
Oh no, fuck.
Because
no,
if you look at some of the ones where you can see the packaging, they just look like standard.
Well, yeah.
Standard Pop-Tarts. Here we go.
You've got to watch this ad, dude. It's legend.
Oh.
Mr. Freeze is on the loose! Signal, Batman!
Someone cut the power!
I'll handle it.
I'll handle it.
Here we go.
I love this kid.
Amazing.
Batman and Robin, the movie, is now invading your favorite Kellogg's Pop-Tarts with Batman and Robin, Batgirl, and Mr. Freeze sprinkles straight from Gotham City to your toaster.
To your toaster.
Flashlight. I'll handle
Okay, I'll watch this. Every time I bring this up and revisit it, I have to watch the kid eating like over and over.
Eating really quickly, yeah.
Flashlight.
Batman and
Yeah.
Robin, the movie.
And it's like the shape of the bat symbol isn't even the one in the movie. That's like from Batman Returns or something.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there was this really great like artist who did a Batman Forever kind of poster, and I did order it. It was like, one of those like one-off print things that like sells out in like a day. I did order it, but it really bugged me that the bat symbol in it was the animated series bat symbol, and it wasn't the Batman Forever symbol.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be a dick and tell him, but yeah, because I guess they're all printed, so it's too late. But yeah.
Which of these ones...
So you're gonna try...
So, yeah, we'll get to that. But which of these ones would you like to try? You go to the store and you got to pick one.
I think I would get the Batgirl one.
Nice.
Because is it like... the strawberry ones are always a bit too sweet for me.
Oh, yeah?
But what... Is it blueberry?
Blueberry.
I'm guessing? Yeah. I would probably go for the Batgirl ones. Those look pretty good. I would not go for the Mr. Freeze ones.
No?
I just feel
Come on,
the
that's
ice,
my pick.
the ice, just having the sugar on top and have it be, oh yeah, it's like ice. No, that's not. That's cheating. But yeah.
The
poor old Poison Ivy there not getting a look in.
I want my Bane Pop-Tarts, damn it. And my Alfred Pop-Tarts.
I want my Alfred Pop-Tarts, yeah. For sure. What would Alfred Pop-Tarts... What flavor would Alfred Pop-Tarts be?
Milk. I don't know.
Milk and tea.
Oh no, it's the
because he's British.
It's the cheeseburger that he brings Robin and Batman.
Sure. Yes.
I'll just toss this away then.
I love that scene. I love all my.
I'm gonna make
so good.
I'm gonna make a Pop-Tarts box with Alfred on the front, and it'll be like cheeseburger flavored filling, and it'll have a quote next to it saying, "Perhaps the dogs are hungry."
That would be great. That would be great if you could do that. That would be great.
I'm gonna do it.
Cool. But yeah, Poison Ivy. I mean, you could have the ivy leaves, instead of the little bat symbols. That would make a lot of sense.
Ivy leaves, sprinkles, and it would have to be like an existing Pop-Tart flavor. It's like
sure.
Those are
Do they have like a green one, like apple? I guess.
No. For this, Kellogg's used the most popular flavors, and I'm just wondering.
Sure, right, to save, yeah. So it's just a kind of rebrand, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those like cinnamon sugar ones are pretty popular, but I was never a fan of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you're younger than me. You remember more of this. Like, I don't remember as much of the Batman and Robin advertising.
Yeah.
Like, and to some extent, like, it wasn't as prevalent over here in the UK. But, like, I guess, like, being from the US, you would have seen tons of this. Because they marketed this for, like, everything. Not just Pop-Tarts, like...
Yeah, it was on, Lay's was another.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Batman and Robin on my Lay's potato chips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Pop-Tarts is just a USA product, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, we get it, but it's not like a huge thing over here.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know whether the branded ones would have gotten over to here.
The first of all, cherry is my favorite Pop-Tart flavor.
Nice.
And then
Sure.
if I were to, do some homemade Batman and Robin Pop-Tarts, the sprinkles on the freeze ones would be the easiest because I wouldn't have to make
Sure.
the shapes.
Yeah, you'd need a tiny cutter to do the little
Yeah,
bat symbols.
I always curious how they did that, how they get the shape.
Yeah, I guess kind of like roll out, kind of icing. I guess if you cut it when it's nice and soft before it goes hard, you could probably cut to like a fine, that kind of fine detail on it.
Yeah,
Because looking in close, it's really just kind of like, it's not really the bat symbol, is it? It just looks like it from a distance.
it kind of is. I think they have the Batman.
There's some
and
misshapen
the Robin
ones.
symbol.
That one there looks spot on. The rest look a little like they're just kind of three prongs.
Is it meant to
on top and
be
bottom.
the Batman and Robin logo, or it has both their symbols?
Ooh, good question. Yeah, with the Robin symbol behind it. Yeah,
In the
possibly.
front. Yeah. Does Batgirl have her own symbol? Oh, it's just the Batman and Robin symbol, I think.
Yeah.
Or is it just the bat because she's Batgirl? I don't know. But I like the simple freeze like frosting.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like his skin.
Yes. It does match his skin
Yeah.
pretty well.
Yeah, that's the one. I wouldn't have to make the shapes for, and yeah,
Sure.
I'm biased because it's cherry, but
Sure.
yeah, I'm gonna have to do my research and
No, that's cool.
do a bunch of trial and error. All the while, I'm just gonna put on another 5 pounds while I'm doing that.
Nice.
Now, sorry, the toy line.
Yeah, sure.
So you mentioned there was a few from Batman and Robin that were kind of hard to track down.
Trying to think which ones they are now.
Just from Kenner, I mean.
Yeah, just the ones from Kenner. I know there's one called A Cold Night in Gotham, which is a 2-pack with Batman and Mr. Freeze. That's one of the ones, and I think Mr. Freeze might be one of those like translucent, kind of see-through figures. Can't think if he's there. Now this is this is like a promo sheet for what the figures, that you'd get kind of packaged in. And it's interesting to note actually that some of the stuff in here, like you look at the Mr. Freeze, it's actually chrome in the promo photo, but the actual toy they released is just like a matte grey. So they obviously were like, let's save some money there, which is a bit of a shame because that figure really needed a bit of extra color to it.
Yeah, I do like the color. It looks good in this little pamphlet.
Yeah, I've got a spare one. And I've got one of those chrome pens. I might chrome mine up to see what it looks like.
Now here's the 2-packs. Did they actually release the Robin Ivy one? I had that, but what about Batman Bane? Is that released?
Yes. Yeah. I think I've done that one. Yeah.
Nice.
And that rooftop pursuit one, I just posted a video. Although interestingly, that's black and yellow, and the one that got released was blue and yellow.
Oh, that's a shame.
But again, like they just I get it. These are sort of
they had to go a little wackier.
Yep. And those ones to the sort of in the middle to the left, the giant kind of Ultimate Robin and Ultimate Batman. I've just picked those up recently. They're about kind of like 10, 11 inches high.
Those are cool.
Those are absolutely useless as figures. Like they don't.
Yeah.
They bend at the waist, and that's about it. but it is kind of cool.
Yeah.
He's got obviously like a little staff that he gets.
That staff
they
is
kinda
very
added with
cool.
him.
You said bend at the waist, and I'm imagining them like you bend them forward so they can blow out a bat farts.
Yep. And obviously, yeah, I don't have the Mr. Free, the Batman and Robin version of the Batcave Wayne Manor kind of playset. I've just got the Batman Forever one for now.
It's the same fucking
But obviously
thing, though.
they just recolored it in some vaguely frosty colors.
What's Frostbite?
That's meant to be kind of Mr. Freeze's kind of henchman.
Look at his face. That's gruesome. I really like him. At least on the sheet here. I don't know what the product looks like, but
he's got just one of those classic kind of like hockey, kind of Jason Voorhees kind of hockey mask kind of things.
Oh, that's a mask. Cool.
Yeah, looks a bit kind of creepier than what we got in the film.
Uh-huh. I'd like to Google him.
Yeah.
There's Frostbite.
Obviously, there was Frosty in the film, which is the guy who gets, frozen.
Yeah, boss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Classic. But yeah.
I think Frostbite would have been a cooler name for him in the film.
The hockey team from hell.
I love that line. So he looks almost the same as his... I think his colors were tweaked for the final.
Yeah.
I think the green is a bit strange because he's meant to be ice themed.
Yeah, that was the problem, I think, a little bit with the line, that they tried to make everything a little too red and blue. There's so many blue Batmans and needed a bit more color variation, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I feel like they were just, like I know so much more now about kind of toy manufacturing and how, for instance, you have like a paint budget for the complete line of toys, and you've got a certain amount of money that you can spend.
Right.
So there'll be certain figures where you want to put lots of paint on, and to do that, you're going to have to find some other figure where you don't put as much paint on it.
Yeah.
So like, So like the classic example is Boba Fett from Star Wars, because he's green and he's got like all these different colored kind of dots on him, and so like when they made that was the one where they had to spend a lot of the paint budget on that one, so they had to balance it out.
Yeah.
And it's probably true of the Batman and Robin line. There's certain ones like the Mr. Freeze one where they just haven't used that chrome, where it's just they're trying to save money.
Yeah, the cost of these things, that was a factor that you don't consider when you're a child. And another thing is, I looked up Ivy because for years I was confused by her figure looking not a hell of a lot like Uma. And so later on I realized that lots of this stuff was based on early concept art, and that's all that the toy manufacturers had to go on. Like that was...
However, for this one, so there's a toy designer called Aaron Archer who worked on a lot of the Batman and Robin line. I think he started with Batman Forever, like that's when he started working on them. Yeah. At Kenner. But he was quite heavily involved in Batman and Robin, and he said actually for the Uma Thurman Poison Ivy, that figure, someone did actually sit down with Uma Thurman and do a sculpt, and he to this day does not know what happened. And why it, who knows, maybe something behind the scenes went wrong. But we got the figure we got, sadly. And only one as well, because obviously famously female figures, action figures,
don't sell.
Like they don't sell because it's very much a gendered kind of industry. So the boys' toys have to be sold to boys. The girls' toys are just marketed to girls. Like, so that's why there's only two two girl figures in it.
Mm-hmm.
And she has so many great looks in the film. Like,
Bummer.
it's such a shame that we didn't get more costumes.
Her when she's in her lair, like sitting on the giant monster flower, that's totally my favorite look for her.
Is that in the red?
It absolutely is the one in the red. Yeah, the most seductive of her outfits.
Yeah. Did you have what of these figures did you have, if any, back in '97?
It was Mom got me Robin and Ivy 2-pack because it was two characters that I wanted of the cast, basically. I didn't have like a pamphlet I could look at and be like, oh, I want this one and this one.
I want this one, this one, yeah.
She did her best, pretty much. She was outside our local Fred Meyer, like, really early to be one of the first to get in there and, get me the gifts that I asked for.
Yeah.
And another one was, I got this one, Batgirl.
Batgirl, yep. I got Batgirl, yeah.
And the Mr. Freeze, the one where he has the goggles.
Yep.
She also got me Mr. Freeze's little play set where he has like a bathtub or something. So was this Mr. Freeze?
Yep.
And she got me one vehicle, which was Robin's ice skid thing that he has at the end. There we go. Fryo.
Oh, the jet blade thing, yeah.
Jet blade thing.
And that cryo freeze chamber, yeah. I picked that up recently.
Cool.
I need to review that. And the Ice Fortress, yeah. The Ice Fortress I've had for ages, and I just have not brought it out to review. But yeah, again, like it's such a shame we didn't get like some sort of like plant-based playset or something. That would have been cool.
Yeah, it's underrepresented in the film. Like there's a few scenes where she's talking to Mr. Freeze. Like they're just there. Oh, you see her growing the plants in that abandoned building, and then we have a couple scenes just that take place there, and then of course at the end, like the plants don't do much. When Batman and Robin are fighting her, there's more to that scene in the book. Just like like the plants are protecting her from Batgirl. I really wish that was in the film.